Alright, what it do, Royal City kiddos? It's your boy, C Drizzle, C Swag, C Dabbing on them, know what I'm saying? We're just like Mr. Caleb for short, that works too. So y'all have been learning a lot of stuff recently, and I think last week's video was on the rules and laws that God gave his people to live by, right? Well, this week we are talking about how Jesus came to show us God's love and save us from sin. And I just want to share a little bit about what that means for me. So just big picture, if you look around the world today, or even just our own country or city, there can be a lot of bad things that happen, a lot of unjust things. And where there are bad things, there are often hurting people. Recently, we've seen a lot of hurting people that have been affected by COVID, and in America specifically, we've seen a lot of hurting people who have been affected by police violence and brutality. Unfortunately, a large amount of these hurting people are minorities, or I'm going to use a big word here, disenfranchised people, which basically means people who've been excluded from participating normally in everyday things. So things like going to work or the store or just even going to the doctor or church, just because of rules and laws that were created by the religious and political leaders of today. So for better or worse, these kind of bad things happening, that's not new. And 2,000 years ago, 2,000-ish years ago, Jesus entered a world that was full of religious and political bad people who they were doing bad things and hurting others, and they created laws and rules that excluded the poor and the immigrants and widowed mothers and their children from participating in church and all those normal activities like I mentioned before, going to the store or the doctor, going to work, things like that. And even though we're not all religious or political leaders like them, we've probably all done things that have hurt others before. So fortunately for us, God loves everyone, regardless of what we do, regardless of what's been done to us, regardless of where we come from or where we're going or been, regardless of what we look like or the color of our skin. And for me, some of the most powerful examples of the love that God has for us come from when God sent Jesus to the earth that 2,000-ish years ago, because immediately Jesus started shaking up all the bad and unjust things that were happening. He started including those who had been excluded by the religious and political leaders. He started spending time with the hurting people and healing sicknesses and diseases. And there's even a story about how Jesus started a riot in a church because of all the unjust things that were happening to the minorities, and I'm going to use that word again, the disenfranchised people that were going to the church. And you can ask your parents about that one and how it relates to the riots happening today. You're welcome, parents. So Jesus did all of this to show us God's love and provide an alternative way to treat others that is just and kind and right, especially to the poor and the immigrants, the widowed mothers and their children, these minorities and disenfranchised people. Ultimately, Jesus' radical, loving acts caused the religious and political leaders of that time to put him to death. But as we know from a memory verse and the videos earlier, Jesus died as the punishment for everyone's sin, all the bad things we've done or will do, and in doing so, he saved us from experiencing the punishment of sin. All because God loves us. So that's the big idea for this week, that Jesus came to show us God's love and save us from sin. I hope that you are all doing well and staying safe, and I challenge each of you to try and do one thing like Jesus this week. Whether that's showing a sibling or your parents some love, or maybe a neighbor or a friend, or maybe that's going and protesting police violence and injustice and standing up for the hurting people of today. How can you be showing God's love to other people? Hope you're doing well. We'll see you later. Bye.